Hi there, I'm Victoria Lorient-Fabish. I'm a registered psychotherapist, a holistic psychotherapist, and I just want to talk about the law of allowance, a courageous conversation that we have with ourselves and others. And it's the law of allowance for those who have harmed you, both people, places, and things, and whom you feel you decide that you are going to stick with it. Because sometimes you just can't leave. The messaging is, if it isn't positive, if it isn't within your bandwidth, let it go. Take it out of your life. It's not working for you. It's negative. Get it out of your life. Even though that's a really good idea most of the time, the truth is I believe that it deprives one of the precious opportunity of growth, of strengthening on an inner level, the courageous experience of getting strong in the face of life's events. I mean, we want to amputate the challenging people. We want to amputate the difficult situation, the pain, the discomfort. I mean, as a psychotherapist, I'm seeing this all the time. I just want to get rid of her, him, it, them, that thing, that job, that person. Yet the cost is often way too much because sometimes you just can't actually leave. For various reasons. Your child is an addict. You need that job. You need to stay in that home for the variety of reasons that one needs to do it. And then now what? The law of allowance, in my opinion, comes into play when you decide. When you decide you will stay in that difficult situation, you take back the power, you're no longer the victim, and you say, I'm staying. I have essentially no circumstantial choice at this moment, and so I'm making an emotional, conscious decision to stay, and you decide you're not the victim. You decide that you will take this opportunity to grow. You decide that you want to be the best version of yourself in this extraordinarily, or maybe not so extraordinary moment. It could be just an irritant, but it could really make you want to leave, but you decide, no, I'm staying. I'm sticking in. I'm hanging in. I'm doing this now. And pain is usually what we'll feel. Discomfort is usually what we'll feel. But yet pain and discomfort are the currency that we pay to grow and transform. Sometimes that gift of despair is what is going to make us move and change. And we have fear about that. That's a for sure. But the truth is that even though there is fear, we can train our mind. We can train our mind to keep moving forward despite the fear. Our brain is an elegant machine that is trainable. We have the science that says our brain is teachable. Neuroplasticity is the new and cutting edge, amazing science that our brain, we've got these neural pathways associated with old, long held beliefs. But the truth is that if you bring in a new thought, bring in a new statement, bring in a new belief, every time that old belief shows up, you know what? New neural pathways get formed, and then our body adapts to the new circumstance. If we challenge those concretized thoughts that say, you're not good enough, or you can never get ahead. I have a client constantly telling me, I can never get ahead. I said, let's try and change that concretized thinking. Because you're right. If you keep saying, you can never get ahead, the universe is saying, your wish is my command. Whatever you want. Whatever you want is exactly what's coming your way. We've got to take a little bit of that toxicity, a little bit of that poison initially, and we need to work with it homeopathically. Take a little bit of that poison and strengthen on the inside. Get stronger, more resilient on the inside. And that's what that challenge is, that difficult situation, those difficult people. Everybody can remember difficult people in our life. And yet, you gotta find a reason to serve your higher self. I don't believe we actually engage in the law of allowance if we don't become in some way engaged in the belief that we are somehow going to benefit from this experience. Because we generally need to say the selfish thing, well, I'm going to benefit from this. I'm going to grow from this. Because we can't learn courage without fear. And we cannot learn patience without urgency, and we cannot learn acceptance without aversion, and we cannot learn, it goes on, discipline without disorder. And you know what? The pain thing, sometimes that despair and pain is our greatest motivator for change and growth and transformation. As a psychotherapist, I see this. I see that the child that's an addict, they've got to let that kid go off into the street, as painful as that is, for the transformation to occur in the family. They've got to experience the massive despair in some way for the motivation to happen. And the truth is that we have some really awesome, great science today and great studies on post-traumatic growth. Yes, not just post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic disorder. Guess what? Post-traumatic growth. I mean, I get goosebumps when I think of that sentence, that concept. The notion that, oh my God, I'm going to have trauma and I'm going to grow. And there's this body of evidence that shows, Harvard was studying it, Johns Hopkins was studying it, the notion that you can go through some crap, you can go through some difficulty, you can go through stuff, and guess what? You can prevail, you can become more compassionate, you can become more resilient, you can become more understanding, you can become, a better version of yourself through going through that stuff. And I have gone through some stuff, and if I hadn't started to study the fact that my traumas could actually help me grow, I don't think I'd be doing this work. Why would I be doing this work? This is great work, but it's hard work. So I really relish the notion. I am, deliciously, lusciously excited about the notion that we can experience terrible situations, traumas, pain, discomfort, and then prevail, grow, go beyond. And so the law of allowance, it's your friend. It's allowing the situation to be there. A great case study that I want to tell you about. I'm going to tell you a couple case studies. The micromanaging moody boss. Anybody? I mean, I work for myself, but there's lots of people that we know that work for micromanaging moody bosses and don't recognize the good stuff that the person is doing. My practice is full of people that are going through that type of situation, and they just want to quit. It's like they come in, it's like, I got to leave this thing, I got to go. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe you're going to go, but maybe there's something to learn here. And with that experience, I'm thinking about a particular client who came from a very, very traumatized upbringing of a very, very borderline personality mother. And then, oh my goodness, borderline personality boss type energy, moody, volatile, micromanaging, up and down, confusing. And so for her, she got to learn the self-regulation of decreased reactivity through that experience. She got that discipline that she realized, I can't quit this thing. I've got 2 kids in university. This job is what I need right now. So I'm not leaving this thing. I'm hanging in. I'm staying here. So we said, so we worked on developing confidence so that she could draw some boundaries, so that she could say no to this guy sometimes, so that she could, not answer the phone on a Saturday at 9 o'clock when he's calling and saying, hello, don't answer. So she says, well, he's going to fire me. He said, I don't think so. Let's test that theory out. And we did. And he didn't fire her. And it became a new normal. And it was a victory when she came in the next week. It's like, I didn't answer that. I waited till Monday. It was awesome. I said, I know, let's keep going. Let's keep doing this thing. Let's keep growing on the confidence level. And you know what? She got a promotion because he started to treat her differently. We teach people how to treat us. And he started to realize, oh, she's not this pushover and, person that I can control. So the lessons that she hadn't learned from the mom, she then, oh my gosh, really was learning from this micromanaging moody guy, boss of hers. And another really good case study would be, I'm in a 25-year marriage. We sometimes experience boundary issues. Many long-term marriages have boundary issues, nagging spouses, transgressing boundaries. You really should do this. You really should do that. No, really, I think you should do this. No, really. And of course, coming into my office, I do marital work, and it's this incredible problematic marriage now. And one of the biggest things that this person had to learn was, hey, it's not my monkey, it's not my circus. That's their problem, not mine. And we start to realize that why does he keep focusing on her issues, her shortcomings, her failures, her thing, avoiding dealing with self? a big fat avoidance of self. And so we did some one-on-one work, and we realized that he's got this cavernous fear of abandonment that he's never even dealt with, but we needed to really, really look at this. And in looking at this, he got to learn about his own codependency. He got to learn how to draw boundaries, or what a boundary even was, because he came from a family that the family culture was that there was no boundaries and there was no locked doors. And so he grew up in a family culture of, I just invade people, we just invade people. That's how we do life, we invade people's energies. And so he got to learn something incredibly different through that. And it was because he said, I'm not leaving this woman. I'm staying in this marriage. I'm going to engage in the law of allowance. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay here just because this isn't working. And, the marriage improved. The marriage improved just immeasurably from this because he decided, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to work with this thing. I'm going to build some resiliency. Another case study would be siblings fighting, having big fights, or best friends having massive fights. I mean, these are the people you think, especially in the best friend case, now this person is not going to hurt me. Now this person is my chosen family. Now this person is my important human that I can just be myself and say whatever I want, and I'm never going to be judged. Does anyone recognize that in best friend land? But the truth of the matter is sometimes in human, deep, intimate relationships, we have these types of rifts, and you can amputate or you can grow. And I'm not talking about people that obviously, are violent, or people that steal from you. Those people, you're getting away from. I'm talking the microaggressions, the passive aggressiveness, the boundary issues. These are the people you really want to engage in the law of allowance with so that you can grow and learn and experience some different types of parts of yourself that you never thought you could exercise or stretch. The ultimate case study, anybody know the gentleman, my favorite human, one of my biggest mentors, Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning? Yeah. I mean, he was this Austrian neurologist, psychologist who was in the Second World War and was interned in a camp and basically lost everything. Lost everyone and lost everything. I mean, he had a reason to be negative. He had a reason to have despair. But no, he said, which has been my guiding principle in my own personal life and has really been a real guiding principle when I'm teaching people about what the art of staying and having the law of allowance is about, which is when we are unable to change a situation, we are tasked to change ourselves. And I get tears in my eyes as I think about that, because this was a guy who inspired other prisoners. And this was a guy who, really, really learned the benefits and the lessons of the law of allowance, which are, you get to self-regulate, learn non-judgment, non-reactivity, perseverance, discipline. You get to grow. And why do we do this? Why do we actually do all this? Not just to get stronger and better and more wonderful aspects of ourselves. We do this because we get to really experience our true higher self. And then we get invited onto the bigger stage of life because we no longer need a small life, a tiny little life in order to be okay. That little life, that little comfort zone, you don't need that when you do the law of allowance. You get to fly, you get to grow, you get to play on the big stages. And that is what the upshot is and the good idea is of engaging in what I call the law of allowance so that you can fly. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Victoria Laurent-Fabish. You can find me at visualizationworks.com. And I got to say, this is an amazing opportunity for you to engage in the law of allowance. Have a great day. All right.
Thank you for watching Victoria's PDA Talk. Are you ready for transformation and healing at a core level? Download the PDA app, set up a free account, and go to the Member Deals section to download Victoria's Healing Your Inner Child audio meditation. Reconnection with your inner child is the gateway to healing the hurt inner child. offered only through the PDA app.